We've all heard of first and third person games, but there's something in between. What would a second person game look like? And do any even exist? In this video, I'm going over what a second person game would be like, and talking about the one second person game I know of. A first person game is inherently 3D, and you would think that all 2D games would be third person. In a first person game, you see through the character's eyes. You are the character. Some examples of first person games are Minecraft, Counter-Strike, and almost every 3D shooter game. Third person games are games in which you see the character from a different angle, but control them like a first person game. Examples of third person games include Fortnite, Super Mario Odyssey, and other 3D Mario titles, and almost all 2D games. These two angles have one thing in common: you control yourself. I think that a real second person game would not have this feature. In a second person game, you would not control yourself. Instead, you would be controlled by the AI. Your job would be to modify the game world and change things about it in a way that allows the character to complete an objective. Here's an example: a top-down game in which you are infiltrating a castle. Enemies and obstacles block the way, and you must destroy obstacles and barriers to stop enemies and divert your character from going the wrong way. On screen, you can see a drawing of the example. Your AI-controlled character must reach the star without dying or waiting too long. You can set explosive charges to destroy barriers and obstacles and create holes in the floor through which nothing can pass. Are there any existing second-person games? Yes, a classic arcade game called Lemmings is mostly second-person. Lemmings walk randomly, turning only when they hit a wall. You must modify the level to divert them from obstacles and keep them from falling off cliffs while trying to get them to the goal. Since you don't control a character, it is a second-person game. You also have limited resources, so you can't just build ramps and bridges and stuff across the gaps. The main setback of making a second-person game is just character AI. To have a big level, you would have to have tons of different paths through it and code the AI to go from target to target, which would not be easy and would also be very, very time-consuming. So I doubt we'll see any of these anytime soon. This got me thinking, and I was imagining what it would be like for me to actually make the game I just described. It certainly wouldn't be easy to have multiple paths that the AI could randomly choose, and if there's a barrier, they have to run away, and I would also have to be able to calculate whether it's possible for them to reach the goal, because if you make a barrier or a hole behind them, and they're running into a dead end, then there's no way for them to get out. I might actually just make this and allow you to make drawbridges over which the character can pass, but enemies could too, and you could lower them or raise them to keep enemies away, but let your player through. This has been a relatively short video, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter for constant updates.